The formula we're talking about today is S sub n equals n over 2, a1 plus an is to find the sum of a series, okay? So do you know how this formula was invented or created or discovered? There was a guy named Gauss, and if you learn matrices, you learn the Gauss method, Gauss, and his IQ is said to be immeasurable, okay? It's said to be upwards of high 200s, low 300. So it's immeasurable. They didn't have IQ tests back then, so they just have looked at his body of works and try to figure out what his IQ was. Well, when he was a little kid, he had ADHD, like maybe some of you, and he was in class, and his teacher didn't know what to do with him. I think what it probably was, hindsight, is that he was so bored in math class because he was so smart that whatever they were doing just seemed so stupid to him. So one day she got very upset with him, and she said, go add the numbers between 1 and 100, meaning 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 all the way to 100. And he said, Miss Medlin, that would be 50-50. And the teacher got really upset and said, go in the corner, because she figured it would take him a while to do 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 plus 3 is 6, 6 plus 4 is 10, you know what I mean? So she thought she would keep him busy for a while. He goes, no, it's 50-50. And he went to the board and he said, this is why it's 5,050. He said, if you imagine the numbers all the way to 100, and then you imagine them backwards, this would be 100, 99, 98, and 97, right? Each one of these columns add up to 101, right? And you have 101, you have 100 columns, so it's 10,100, but you only need half of them, so you divide it by 2, and you get 5,050. That's why. So if we're going to find the sum of this, we can add them all up in our calculator, which is 55, or we can take, there's 5 numbers divided by 2, and then the first number was 3, the last number is 19, which is 2.5 times 22, which is 55. Here they tell us A1 is negative 12, AN is negative 50, and N is 20, so you just plug and chug here, right? So you get 20 divided by 2, and then you do times negative 62, which should be negative 620. So last week we learned the formula that had a D in it. We're going to have to use that formula to find AN, because you need AN for the new formula, right? So we're going to say AN equals A1, which is negative 11/14, plus 1/2 times 15 minus 1. So it's negative 11/14 plus 7, because 1/2 of 14 is 7. And that's negative 11/14. And when you make this into 4, what's 7 times 14?
98.
Okay. So this should be, AN should be 87/14. So now that we have AN, we're going to put it in the other formula. S of n equals 15 over 2, and it's going to be negative 11/14 plus 87/14, and that's going to be 7.5 times 76/14. What is that? What is that? $38?
I got a fraction.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, what is it?
285 over 7.
Yeah, to the 7.5. So the D is 8 in this problem, so now we can find A19. A19 equals A1, which is 16, plus 8 times 19 minus 1. So it's 16 plus 8 times 18, which is what? So A19 is 160, right? Now we can put it in the other formula, 19 over 2, 16 plus 160. So that's 9.5 times 176. What do you get? 1672 is the correct answer.